In this video, we are going to look at how you can make coffee off-grid using a Nespresso machine. We'll use this machine as an example, but if you have another electrical coffee maker, you can use the calculations we are going to use in this video. If you're boiling water to make your coffee, this video is not for you, so you can just sign off now. I'll show you what you need in 4 simple steps. The first step is to determine the wattage of your Nespresso machine or a compatible device. Our Nespresso machine is rated for 1300 watts. The next step is choosing an inverter. So when you know the power rating of your coffee maker, you need a device that delivers that power to the machine. And in an off-grid situation, that's called an inverter. The inverter takes the DC power from the battery and transfers it to AC power, so we can make our coffee. In this video, I'll be using a Victron MultiPlus 3000 VA. So when sizing your inverter, you need to keep in mind that if you want to power more appliances at the same time, your inverter has to have enough capacity to do so. So our Nespresso machine is 1300 watts, but if you like to charge a laptop or a camera at the same time, and these two devices have a combined wattage of 100, you need a minimum of 1400 watt inverter. And it's even better to round it up a little bit, and let's say you need a 1500 watt inverter to power this Nespresso and to charge your devices. If you are still looking to buy an inverter, please make sure to buy a pure sine wave inverter. For example, this MultiPlus here is really good, or for example this one from Amazon, but make sure there are pure sine inverters. Oh, real quick, if you are building your camper van, 4x4, overland or whatever, and you need help with your electrical wiring diagram, you can use our software which auto calculates your fuses, your wires, and it's really easy to use. You can check our software via the link in the description. Alright, let's get back to the coffee. Alright, so the third step is determining your battery size. We now know we need around a 1500 watt inverter, but with that you can't just connect it to any battery and make some nice coffee. If you already have an existing setup, you need to check if your batteries can handle the discharge. You can't just connect the inverter to your batteries and expect it to work. I'll tell you why. In short, an AGM or gel battery can be discharged at a rate of 20% of its total capacity. For a lithium battery, it's a little bit different, and we can check the manual for that. But I'll give 2 examples. So we have 2 batteries, a 100 amp hour AGM or gel battery. This one can be discharged with 20% of its total capacity. So that means 20 amps per hour can be drawn out of the battery. 20 amps can be the load maximum. A 100 amp hour lithium battery can deliver for the most times 100 amps per hour. So that's 5 times as much discharge compared to the AGM or gel battery. I hope that's clear. Let's take a little step back towards the inverter. So we've established that we need a 1500 watt inverter. And now we are going to convert the 1500 watt to amps. So we can use that to see what battery we need. But we need to keep in mind one more thing, and that is the efficiency of the inverter. The normal efficiency of an inverter like this one here is around 90%. And we need to take this into consideration. It's a very simple formula we can use. We take 1500 watt divided by 0.9. And then we have 1607 watts. So that's how much energy the battery needs to deliver to compensate for those 10% losses. So if we take this 1676 watts and divide it by the system voltage, let's say we have a 12 volt system, then we divide it by 12 and then we have around 139 amps. Alright. So in order to enjoy this nice cup of coffee, we need our Nespresso machine. And we need a battery that can handle a discharge of around 139 amps. And that is just for the inverter. So you should also consider other devices that are being powered at the same time. We can do a big calculation about that, but we can also round it up to 150 amps. That's what we can do for this purpose in the video. So step 4 is picking the right battery. So we know what inverter we need and we know how much our battery needs to be able to handle to the discharge. Now we know how much amps we are going to discharge, we can look at some batteries. But which one should you choose? Well, by now you've narrowed down your search a little bit, because we need to look at batteries that can discharge a minimum of 150 amps. And we can either use an AGM or gel battery or a lithium battery. Personally, I'd skip the AGM or gel batteries completely, because if we apply the 20 amp discharge rule, we need to take 150 and multiply it by 5. So we need a 750 amp hour battery bank, and I don't think that's going to work. So that leaves us with lithium batteries. So nowadays there are like 100 different battery suppliers, and I cannot give you a good recommendation. I've only tested lead time and watt cycle. I think they are like the bigger brands out there besides Victron. But Victron batteries are good, but a little bit expensive for my taste. So this lead time battery has 280 amp hours of capacity and has a 200 amp BMS. This is a solid battery, but it lacks a Bluetooth function. And this one without Bluetooth costs around $570 last time I checked. This other one right here is watt cycle. It has 314 amp hours and has built-in Bluetooth. It also has a 200 amp BMS and it has 34 more amp hours than the lead time variant, but this one is almost $100 cheaper. I think there are a lot of reviews about these two batteries, so you be your judge. Personally, I'd go for the watt cycle because it's cheaper, it has more capacity, it has also a 200 amp BMS, and it has built-in Bluetooth, so you wouldn't need an external battery monitor, which also saves you another $100. Alright, that's it for this video. So a small recap: to make yourself a nice cup of Nespresso you need around a 1500 watt inverter with a lithium battery which has a minimum of a 150 amp BMS. If you want to know more about off-grid electrics, you can check out my YouTube channel or our website. If you want to help us out, you can purchase the software license or buy one of the batteries or items linked in this video. We'll get a small affiliate commission and you don't pay anything extra for it. Thanks for watching. We also have a free ebook if you want to download that. It's completely free, no obligations. You can also download it via the link in our bio. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments. If you'd like, you may also subscribe. If you have any other topics where you'd like a video about, drop them as well. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.